welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Jade Shinyu and I help people reclaim back their power physically, mentally and spiritually. Now today I'm going to be talking about the dangers of marijuana addiction. So disclaimer, this isn't going to be a video just completely bashing marijuana and weed and whatever, but this is going to be a video highlighting the very real physical, spiritual and mental dangers and trouble that it can cause when it is used chronically and excessively. So basically when you get addicted to it and use it every single day or a few times throughout a week, whatever the case. So first up, I'm going to be looking at why it is bad for you mentally. So with marijuana use, it more negatively affects you if you start smoking it at a younger age. So if you're someone who started smoking basically before the age of 25 and you had it for quite a long time, every single day for years, this would have caused major disruptions in the frontal cortex of the brain. So basically the area of the brain that is responsible for decision making. Because before the age of 25, your brain isn't fully developed, believe it or not. So you actually are really a full grown ass adult after 25 years of age. That's when your brain is actually fully formed. So obviously, if you're having some sort of psychoactive substance when your brain is still developing, it can cause major disruptions. And of course, this can be worsened when someone is taking the substance when they suffer from mental health issues or some sort of trauma, which unfortunately attracts a lot of people to marijuana in the first place. So if you're someone who has one of those things and then you get obviously addicted to it to escape whatever pain, emotions that you're feeling, like most other drugs and like alcohol, etc., it will worsen the effects and it can actually cause psychosis in some people. Just remember, too much of anything is always going to be bad for you. Even if you drink too much water, it could kill you. So I feel like within the marijuana weed community, people are extremely biased when it comes to actually facing reality and the truth of having excessive amounts of something that's causing your brain to be in an altered state is not good for you. You must be in a sober state to be capable of life, to make decisions, to get on with things. Because of course there is many healing benefits of the marijuana plant, mainly the CBD though, because the THC is the thing that's responsible for causing these disruptions, especially in people that are younger aged or people who smoke it every single day, you know, chronically. So the CBD is what, you know, the plant is massively praised for and it's been shown to do, you know, amazing, have very healing benefits. And another thing to know and to point out is, remember, many plants, many types of marijuana that people smoke today are hybrids. They've been spliced and bred, and there's like hundreds, probably more, of different types of marijuana that people select and breed to have higher THC levels. So originally, the original marijuana plants probably wouldn't have had, they would have had lower levels of THC. But unfortunately, because people get addicted to it and they want a bigger and bigger hit, because you get immune, the more you smoke it, the more THC is going to take for you to have that stoned effect, because your body becomes like tolerant to it, like with most drugs. You know, this is what's led people to create stronger and stronger strains, which of course is very problematic. So I wrote some notes to do with actually what it does in the brain if you start having it before the age of 25 especially. So it's a bit scientific, so bear with me. So basically, like I've said, the clearest risk factor is obviously of people under the age of 25. And this is because cannabinoid receptors are more concentrated in the white matter of the brain. And the white matter is responsible for communication, learning, memory, emotions, and basically frequent weed disrupts the development of white matter, okay? So basically what this means is it affects the brain's ability to grow new connections. This damages long-term learning ability And this is basically why you'll see, you know, most stoners will be quite slow. Especially if they've had it for many, many years, it will start to slow down the brain, and it's been shown to lower your IQ levels. So, like I said in my psychedelics exposed video I done a while back, all psychedelics shouldn't be exploited, weed included. And unfortunately, weeds, because it's so common and easy to get your hands on, it's become so normalized to just have it casually all the time, which isn't the case. You should only be having these substances when absolutely necessary, when in reality, it's never necessary. You do not need any sort of psychedelic to wake you up, to get enlightened, to do whatever. It can be beneficial to some people to have an initial ego death. You know, that's really what I'd say the biggest, most beneficial function of certain psychedelics can do, is it initially disrupts someone's ego. It makes them kind of snap out and realize that, oh, you know, life isn't what it seems to be. It kind of makes them realize that, you know, they're living in a matrix. So it can give you some incredible insights like that when your consciousness is at quite a low level. But it can only do so much. So if we go more into the spiritual aspects, with weed, any sort of psychedelic, it is of an earth energy. It is of an earth vibration. It is not of a high divine frequency. So it's kind of like a neutral frequency. A frequency of acceptance is what it resonates at. So it can give you insights, but only to a certain degree, only to a certain level. So it's like it can only take your consciousness and your spiritual understanding to a certain level. And with the mental aspects, with marijuana, the longer you use it, I mean, sometimes it can happen quite quick with certain people, but it can actually induce psychosis. So you can get something called marijuana-induced psychosis, which is really, really serious. And it can start to affect you on a subconscious level almost, where it will create very paranoid delusions. It will block you. It will make you believe certain things that aren't true. It will make you act very out of character. So certain symptoms of this is people just having a massive personality change, but for the worst. Anxiety, extreme anxiety can be heightened massively with marijuana. This happened to me years ago. This is why I don't have it anymore. You know, because I've been there, done that. I was addicted. I smoked weed for about 3 to 4 months, nearly every day, years ago, and it fucked me up bad. So I know what it's like, and I saw the problems it caused and how much it affected my brain in a negative way when I was doing it every day. You know, with weed, it's nice to do it, like, I'd say probably once every month or few weeks or whatever, if you really want to experience that, you know, thing, if you really want to experience it. With marijuana psychosis, it will subside a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time when you stop having it, when you stop smoking it. However, you will have to go through the withdrawal stage, which can be extremely uncomfortable. And this just makes me like laugh when people say, oh, it's not addictive. It's like, it is extremely addictive. If it wasn't, then why do you have to smoke it every day? You know what I mean? Like, of course it's addictive. So with the withdrawal symptoms, that can cause severe depression. It can cause even more anxiety. It can cause numbness, feelings of just confusion, irritability, insomnia, mood swings. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Like, the negative impacts it can have to someone, it can be quite severe when they stop having it after years of having it. So this is something that you need to really acknowledge, because it's like, are you even capable of having a drug every single day for the rest of your life? And because that day will come, and many people will have weed for many years until one day they really wake up, or they start to notice how massively negative the effects are from doing it every day. And then they'll have to go through a very uncomfortable, you know, detox phase. So the longer you're on it, the worse it will be, and the more damage it will do to your brain. So Because with weeds, you are using your life force energy to create that high. And this is another spiritual truth that is not known by many or taught by many. So every time you get high, it uses chi, which is your energy, which is so precious. So this is why when you have weed, you just crash out at night. This is why you'll feel hungover sometimes the next day. This is what I started to feel. Like I'd feel hungover and tired the next day. And I'd be like, why is this making me feel like I've just been binge drinking, you know, on alcohol? I feel drained the next day. And basically, this is because it's using your life force energy, which will make you, if you stick to it, age quicker. It will cause physical problems. It can cause even physical illness. So it's kind of like wasting your sexual energy, similar to that. So if you're someone who excessively ejaculates, you know, through porn or whatever, this is very similar to that, because you're wasting your life force energy. Because if you're constantly being stoned every single day, it makes you mentally incapable of handling real life situations. It dulls your system. So it can even cause apathy, passive aggressiveness, because it disconnects you more and more from your higher self, from your soul. And another thing, and massively, that I see within the spiritual community that excessively are addicted to weed and just constantly high and stoned, it's like they only do it because it creates a distance between them and their body and their minds, instead of actually doing the real meditation work. Because with real meditation and genuine spiritual practices like that, without the crutch of an external substance, that's when you will reach enlightenment. That's when you gain true spiritual power, true mental capabilities of understanding things of a higher consciousness level. Weed gives a false meditative state. It is not you inducing that state. So if you're someone on the spiritual path and you're using it thinking it's making you more spiritual, it is not. This is something that you must do on your own, within your own mind, within your own body. It's kind of like the same thing as an example, someone who goes to the gym and is using their body naturally to build muscle, and they're only purely doing it naturally, eating right and lifting weights, following a program, you know, real discipline. And on the other side, you'll have someone who cheats, who uses steroids to get bigger muscles and to get that dream body. Marijuana is like the same thing. It's like the, you know, spiritual steroids. It gives you this sense of being all meditative and zen-like. But in reality, it's not. It's an illusion. It's false. Just like when someone is on steroids for years, as soon as they come off the steroids, their body is fucked. They will lose the muscle. It will turn them to mush. Their hormones will be massively out of whack. It damages you because now you're not producing natural testosterone when you have steroids. And it is the same thing with marijuana. So if you're constantly just meditating on marijuana, thinking that you're progressing, but then as soon as you come off it, it's used so much of your natural energy. It's dulled your third eye. It's dulled your psychic abilities. It dulls the brain. It dulls your soul. It drains you. So now it will be 10 times harder to actually get back onto that level of spiritual progress and skill. So it makes it harder in the long run, is basically the point. And this is why it's so important to not fall down that trap because of your own traumas or whatever it is leading you to that. Because at the end of the day, people only fall into weed addiction because they're using it to fill a void. You're using it to fill something, that some sort of wound, normally from childhood trauma, that you were resisting. So it's giving you a false fake happiness. It's giving you fake joy, fake peace. When in reality, you can heal on your own. Yes, it will be more difficult. Yes, it will take more time. But in the long run, it is worth it because it will be permanent. It will be consistent. It will be real, basically. And you won't have any drawbacks, side effects. Because with weeds and chronic addiction, chronic use, it just causes negative problems in the long run. And this is something that needs to be really, really understood to avoid future suffering. And there's this real biased illusion or stereotype that, oh, stoners are peaceful and calm and da-da-da. But in reality, they're not. Because as soon as you take away their weed, my God, do they become fucking moody and irritable as fuck. So they are not capable. It takes away their capability of regulating their own moods. It takes away their capability of basically having that self-control. Only meditation and inner work and emotional maturity and real skill can give you that sense, and eating, of course, a healthy diet can give you that sense of being capable, having strong mental health, being in control of your emotions, you know, dominantly. So when you're a stoner, you will not have those skills. You will just basically be in la la land and just, you know, floating through life. You're not actually facing your inner demons. And this is why it can be such a huge block for many, many, many people. And it's so important. It's imperative to get rid of it, to truly heal, to truly progress on your spiritual path and in life itself. So to do with more of the spiritual dangers, with weed, it's very similar to alcohol. It opens you up. So it can be a doorway for things to get into your frequency, for things to get into your vibration, and also for your own soul to fractal and get lost within other dimensions. So it's way more complex than people realize. And this is why you can actually, this is why people lose like themselves when they're addicts. So this is why it's really, really important to acknowledge that and realize that when you're opening up your aura through weed, any sort of psychedelics, you know, alcohol, whatever it is, things can affect you. Things can get in. And this is why if you're just smoking it all the bloody time, especially if you're around toxic people in toxic environments, you are yourself on a low vibration, you feel depressed, you know, whatever it is so dangerous spiritually. You can get astral parasites, you can even get demonic beings coming in. You can get so many things that will just latch onto you because they're like predators and they're always seeking, like I've said in my other videos. So you can't, so this is why it's really important to acknowledge this and realize how you need to actually protect yourself, because crystals and all this shit won't do that. The real protection is you being accountable for your lifestyle and your habits and actually choosing to do things that create that protective shield. And this is called spiritual hygiene, which I've said before. You need to have a high level of spiritual hygiene and knowing not to open yourself in negative ways. Otherwise, once something gets in, it could be very difficult to remove it at times, depending what it is. The truth is, in this matrix, the only thing that actually creates happiness is discipline. And many people don't want to hear that. And I've seen this with myself. I've seen this with other people. If you have the discipline to actually get your shit together, to actually do the inner work without cheating, without using external substances to escape your pain, your traumas, your, you know, inner demons, whatever it is, you will find peace. You will find success. You will find love, wealth, whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. You will succeed your soul mission. You'll find yourself elevating to that frequency of pure love, and no external substance can do that for you permanently. They can't do that. So they can only guide you. They can only give you certain seeds. They can only give you at times certain insights, and that's all they're for. It can't do much more than that. Sometimes with more intense things like ayahuasca, yeah, of course they can like purge you and shit. But with marijuana, it doesn't do that. So this is why it's imperative to really, really know, to make that intention to do what you don't want to do, which is hard work. You've got to step out your comfort zone. Because in reality, weed addiction and the chronic use of marijuana lowers your vibration. Because many people, especially awakened people, you will actually progress higher than the vibration that weed resonates on. Like I was saying earlier, weed and all these substances are of an earth vibration, earth spirits. It's not angelic. It's not higher dimensional beings that are in like the 5D, 7D, in even 10th, you know, D. These beings are of such a high vibration. They are not the same as these other entities on the earth vibration, on the vibration of weed, ayahuasca, whatever it is. These beings are much more higher than that. And the only way you're going to meet them, the only way you're going to really tap into that is if you go within and become that vibration yourself, which is probably the hardest thing to do on earth because it's so dense, but it can be done. You can connect to beings of a 5D, 7D, whatever it is, these very pure spirits. But you can't do that with external substances. There is no cheats. And that is the hard truth. Because Earth is a school. There is no cheats. You have to do the work. You have to, this is what many people don't want to accept. This is what so many people, especially in the spiritual community, don't want to hear. Because everyone wants instant gratification, a quick pill to fix my life, a crystal to fix my life, a meditation that will give me enlightenment, a drug that will heal me of everything, you know, psychedelic that will give me, you know, connect me to God, whatever it is. These things don't work long term. It's you that has to change and opening your heart, purely opening your heart, really activating your spirit, your soul. These are the things that are going to make you so peaceful, loving, healing, basically achieve your soul mission on earth, because that's why you're here. You're not here just to roam around and, you know, do all this matrix bollocks. You're here to achieve so much more than that. And if you want to actually escape the matrix, if you want to have this as your last life on earth and not have to keep reincarnating with all these fucking problems and karma and lessons, this is what you have to do. And this is why so many humans are stuck on that reincarnation cycle again and again and again and again, because they are not learning this. They are not learning this hard truth that you cannot cheat this. Energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. And if you die and you haven't completed your mission, you haven't learnt your lessons, you haven't shed your karma, you have to come back and do it all over again. So what is the point? And in reality, you can feel that bliss. You can feel high without weeds. And I know this myself. I feel high all the time. And to be fair, it's quite uncomfortable. Like one of my problems is I feel too ungrounded. Because especially if you've been vegan, you don't drink alcohol, you don't consume like low vibrational energy, your frequency bloody rises, and it can be quite hard to be grounded. So if you're very connected to like, you know, higher realities, higher realms, it's very difficult to be grounded. You feel stoned. Like I feel so many times I will literally just feel stoned, and it's like, oh God, I need to like try and do something to ground myself. Sometimes I have to go and, you know, drink a certain thing or eat a potato or just watch some, you know, a normal sort of grounding movie or, you know, whatever it is, because it can be very uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's like you can feel that bliss. If I want to meditate, I can meditate like that. I can meditate for an hour easily if I want to. If I want to connect to a guide, I can do that. I have my conduit open. You can open your third eye. You can tap into these different realities. You can help heal people. You can channel love. You can channel light. So it's worth it. And you can really, really start to feel that incredible energy, that connection. You'll get insights in your dreams. Many beautiful things will happen to you and can come into your life. And can't achieve this if you're stuck on that certain frequency bands. You have to break free from that. And this is why, luckily, loads of people within the spiritual community I've seen have realised that. Loads of people have quit weed, or they're quitting weed because they've realised it's now becoming negative as opposed to positive. So initially, remember, when you would have started smoking weed, your consciousness level would have been far lower. So it's like it may have had positive impacts in the past, but it can only take you so far. So it's like if you excessively start consuming it, it will start to turn negative, and it will cause negative effects instead of positive effects. Because now it's like, you know, you need to let it go. It can only do so much until it starts to turn toxic. So I hope this video helped you. I hope this video, again, this is no discrimination to people who are stoners. This is literally just what I feel to be true from my own research, from my own experiences. So this is here, I'm doing this to help you. I'm doing this to help bring awareness, because it is not spoken about enough, unfortunately. And if you do need one-to-one guidance, I do offer one-to-one oracle sessions, which is basically just me giving you spiritual guidance that can last anywhere between an hour, sometimes 3 hours, depending on who you are. So I will link that down below in the description box. Or I also have my Goddess Coven Patreon now active, where I have spell work, meditation, subliminals, all these things. Oh, and pick a card readings as well. So all these things to help give you more insight and give you more tools to actually raise your frequency, to heal, to access altered states of consciousness with your own brain only. So please like and subscribe and click the notification bell down below so you don't miss my future uploads. And I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Ahimsa.